Welcome back to Moving to Hampton Roads. If you're planning a move to Williamsburg, Virginia, and you think Jamestown High School may be a great fit for you and your family, then this video is for you, because we're going to talk about the 5 closest neighborhoods to Jamestown High School. These are all going to be neighborhoods where your kids could potentially walk or bike to school, or at the very least, they're going to have a short bus ride. All right, so stick around and we'll get right to it. My name's David Tortellini, and I help people just like you buy and sell property in Williamsburg, Virginia, and throughout all of Hampton Roads. If this is your first time to the channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. That way you'll get alerted to all of our future videos. And then when you're ready, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. I'd love to help you out with your next home purchase. All right, so the way that this video is going to work is we'll start off on the computer, talk a little bit about Jamestown High School, I'll show you the area a little bit, and then we're gonna go get in the car and get into each of the 5 neighborhoods so you can learn a lot about each one of them. All right, let's get right to it. Alrighty, well, let's start right here on the map and get you just familiar with Williamsburg to start. So, of course, we have the city of Williamsburg, which you know as Colonial Williamsburg, William & Mary campus, and then kind of the surrounding area here, really inside of the 199 belt. So this is 199 right here. And then you're really going to have James City County that kind of wraps around and goes up to Lightfoot and Norge and Towano, kind of comes right around here and wraps right back through and kind of comes back in a crescent shape around the city of Williamsburg. And right down here, you'll see historic Jamestown. So I'm sure you're familiar with historic Jamestown if you are looking at Williamsburg. And really close to that, you are going to find Jamestown High School. So this is where you're located, right off of Route 5. So you have a couple of major roads right here. You have 31, which is Jamestown Road, and you have Route 5 that comes through here. And these are going to be kind of the 2 bigger roads that run through the Jamestown area, where if you're looking at neighborhoods that are zoned for Jamestown High School, you are most likely going to be kind of off of here or up here off of Monticello. So you are looking at a couple of major roads that come here off of 199, so really easy to get to, and then they both kind of lead straight into Colonial Williamsburg. So Jamestown High School right here. And this is a high school that niche.com, which is a site that I like to use for most of my school referencing, is it's ranked as the #1 school in James City County, Williamsburg. And it's also ranked, let me see, I have my notes here, 43 out of 328 in Virginia for public high schools. And there are 1,271 students, so not a huge school, but definitely not a small school. So a nice kind of like upper mid-sized school, and it's really known for academics. Niche gives it an A, sports, college prep, A- for teachers, B+ for clubs and activities. So really just a very highly rated school. And, I think that for anybody looking to come to the area, probably are going to at least want to go and meet with the administration and go take a look at the school and see if it's a good fit for them. Because at the end of the day, all these online websites, really, they do a great job of giving you the base information, but you really need to go to the school to get a good feel for it if you can, and make sure it's a good fit for your family. So a couple of things that I really, really love about just this area and what we're going to talk about is, so if you back out here and you can kind of see this solid green line here that comes up here and then it goes over and follows Route 5. Well, that is the Capitol Trail, and that is a 50-mile long bike trail that goes all the way from Jamestown to Richmond. So if you are a cyclist, it is the coolest. It's nice and wide. You don't have to be some, high-end, road racing, a cyclist. You could just be a regular person who just wants to get out on their bike. Big, wide, safe trail that goes for miles and miles. You can take it as far as you want and turn back. And then when you see here, you see these other kind of dotted lines here, and then this solid line here. Well, this is the Greenspring Trails and the Powhatan Creek Trails. And these are hiking trails that connect a ton of the neighborhoods. So you can see it kind of wraps around and goes throughout. So if you like to get out and about, if you have dogs, you like to go for a run, you want to be on trails and not on hard pavement, you want to be away from cars, this is the best. I mean, I absolutely love it. There are a bunch of homes where you can literally just walk out your backyard and go right onto the trails. I mean, if you're right here, you can just go right out the backyard, and there you are, and you're right on the Greenspring Trails. They are extremely well maintained, scenic, go throughout the woods, really, really lovely. And it's a very special thing to have these trails that kind of weave throughout the neighborhoods, because there aren't really other places in the area that have anything like that. So really, really neat. One of my favorite things about the area. So when we look at the neighborhoods today, we are going to look at a few right here. So we're going to start off in what's called Jamestown 100, and that's right here. As you can see, it's practically on campus. And then we're going to go over to St. George's 100, and that you can see they actually do have a little connection point here. So if you lived in St. George's 100 and you did want to walk to school, that is very doable. And St. George's is a little bit bigger, kind of comes down here. So we'll look at that whole area. Then we are going to come up across the street on the other side of Route 5, and we're going to look at some townhomes here in the Fairway Villas at Greenspring Plantation. So if you've ever stayed in the area, you may have stayed at the Greensprings Vacation Resort here. It's very popular. So we'll look at some townhomes, give you another option for housing besides the single family, and then we'll come over to Fieldcrest. So, I mean, how kind of neat would it be to walk out your back door, hop on the trail, and take the trail to high school? Like, that's really cool. And so we'll be in Fieldcrest, and then we'll finish up over here in a large neighborhood called Berkeleys Green. So very big and very popular neighborhood over here in Berkeleys Green. Yep. So this is overall, Jamestown High School. This is the immediate surrounding area. You've got the Colonial Parkway here, which runs to Yorktown, big scenic parkway there. We've done videos on, say, like Newtown. So you've got kind of Newtown and the Monticello Marketplace with Target and everything right here. So really close and easy to get to these things. You kind of come right up Route 5 here and jump on Ironbound and head straight over into them. If you have little kids, Kidsburg, one of the coolest kind of neighborhood, or I should say city-run playgrounds that I've ever seen. Just really cool. So it's really a beautiful area. Especially for people who like to be outdoors. I really think that's kind of one of the highlights of the neighborhood and just of the part of Williamsburg where you're in. And then, of course, just it's easy to get to Colonial Williamsburg and everything that's kind of going on. So that is going to be Jamestown High School, and let's go and get into our neighborhoods. Alrighty, so we're going to go right into Jamestown 100, and this is that neighborhood I showed you that was right off of campus. So really the high school is right across the street from this neighborhood, so perfect if you want to be really, really close. And this is a neighborhood that's made up of about 110 homes, and they're mostly built between about 2002 and 2007. And you're going to get a really nice combination of, it's going to be mostly two-story, and then you're going to see kind of these ranch-style homes with the big room above the garage as well. So you're going to get kind of the 1.5 story as well here. But majority of the neighborhood is the two-story home, and these are homes that are currently selling in about the $400,000 to $500,000 range. So nothing's broken $500,000 in this neighborhood. So I think the high sale recently was about $492,000, but it is a really good opportunity because most of these homes are really kind of more like in the mid fours. So this $435,000 to $470,000 kind of range would really be the sweet spot for this neighborhood right now. And I think one of the things you can see here is it is kind of a tight neighborhood. So it's not crazy, they're not right on top of each other, but most of the lots are only about 1/4 of an acre. So you're not getting some huge yard here. And so I think that it's just going to be, kind of your typical neighborhood, kind of a, very much a modern subdivision in the way that they just kind of put the houses up right next to each other. Everybody gets a nice little yard, but nothing crazy. And you are pretty close to your neighbors. You can see it's kind of a tighter neighborhood. So that is probably the one downside I see of this neighborhood. But you are so close to the high school. And I think that that's such a big advantage for anyone who wants to be able to, I mean, by the time they're in high school, they can walk themselves to school, ride their bike, get on the skateboard, whatever, and get right to school. And so, when you're looking at these homes, I would say that being that they're in this 15 to 20-year-old home range and in the price point where they're at, you are not always getting the most updated home anymore. So a lot of them still do kind of have the feel from the early 2000s. So they're in good shape. They're very well maintained, but we're at this point where we're starting to need some roof replacements. I can see a couple of these roofs definitely are getting on the older side. So you can even just see it straight from the video that, you're starting to push that 20-year mark on these shingles, and so it might be time to think about that as a replacement. You also have to take a look at other systems when you're looking at homes this age, but that's something that we're just dealing with a lot in the Williamsburg area because we have so many homes that were built in the late 90s, early 2000s. But this neighborhood, it has a $20 HOA, so we're actually exiting the neighborhood right now. So that's the lot where you get down to the trails we talked about earlier, and then here's the high school right here. So you can really see just how close you really are. So pretty neat that we're right here, right by the high school. We're going to jump right back into the neighborhood. And then, so I mentioned $20 HOA. Basically, they're just maintaining some private spaces for the neighborhood. There's nothing really going on that in the neighborhood that in terms of amenities too much. So, good, solid neighborhood. Tons of kids, obviously, a lot of families in here, big, nice size suburban homes, anywhere from 2,000 to about 3,600 square feet. So good size homes. You're not going to get any total monsters in here, no 5,000 plus square foot homes, but also very consistent in the size ranges, which is interesting because you see some of our next neighborhoods, there's some smaller homes. So just consistent, nice size, a lot of like 3-bed, 2.5, 4-bed, 2.5, 3-bath, few 5 bedrooms in here. So that's really what you're going to get right here in Jamestown 100. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep playing this video. You can keep touring through the neighborhood. I'm just going to play some music for a couple minutes so you can see a bit more and get a great feeling for Jamestown 100. And this is going to bring us right into St. George's 100. So this is right next door to Jamestown 100. So we saw that on the map earlier. But this is a much larger neighborhood, and it's about 242 homes. And right now we're up at the front half of the neighborhood, and what you're going to see is that it was really built in two phases. This front half was built in the 70s and 80s, and you're going to see that from the distinct style of the neighborhood. And then when we get to the back half, you're going to see that those homes were built in the 90s and early 2000s, and they will be very much of that kind of time period, and you'll be able to tell right away when we're in the newer section. So especially this front part where it's very, wooded, a lot of the trees have regrown, and, reestablished the area because it's been here for, 30, 40 years now. So this area is going to be the area where you may see some of the smaller homes in the neighborhood too. Overall, homes here are going to range between 1,350 and 3,000 square feet. So you're going to get some ranchers up in the front half that are, in this 1,350 to 2,000 square foot range. And then when you get to the back portion of the neighborhood, that's when you're really going to start to see the 2,500 to 3,000 square foot homes fairly regularly. And the great thing about this neighborhood is there is no mandatory HOA. There is a voluntary HOA that's very inexpensive that you can join, and that's going to give you access to a great playground and pavilion, tennis courts, and basketball courts. And so there's a really nice community area. If you want to just join the HOA so you can be part of that, it's really easy. And, it's just community run, very easy. And we're passing it all right now. So it's right here kind of in between the old part of the neighborhood and the new section. So we're going to move back to the kind of the newer section. And when you get back to the end of the road, you can either take a right or a left to go into either new section. We're going to go to the right first and then head back over to the left. But this is great. Over in this community, we have sales that have ranged from 350,000 up to 540,000. So 540 being the highest sale ever in this neighborhood. So you may be in this back section looking more in the, high fours, low fives, whereas in that front section, for many of those homes, you could be in the kind of 350 to 450 range. So it's really just going to depend on what you're looking for. And, do you just want to be in the neighborhood or do you want to be in a specific part of the neighborhood? So like for me, Wellington Circle backs right up to those trails we talked about earlier. So if you're on Wellington Circle, you can actually go out your back, your back door and go right onto the Capitol Trail. So, that's pretty incredible. That would be a really great feature for me to be in this neighborhood. So overall, really nice neighborhood. You can see it's a little bit more spread out, especially the original part of the neighborhood. So really great area. You're going to get a little bit more room than you are in Jamestown Hundred. So most of the lots in here are more like a third of an acre, and there are some that go up to about 3/4 of an acre. So there's an opportunity here. You get a little bit more space. The houses are a little less on top of each other. You can see it here, just a little bit more spread out. It might not, because in Jamestown Hundred, you was probably, you're 20, 25 feet to your neighbor. Here, more like 50 feet to your neighbor, something like that. So this is just, it's a little bit more spread out, bigger neighborhood, and it's a really great space. So we're going to finish driving through. I'm going to play a little bit of music for you, just like the last one, and we'll finish through the neighborhood. Hey, we're going to change pace completely and go look at some townhomes located across Route 5 from Jamestown High, so right across the street. And these are the Fairway Villas at Greenspring Plantation. And as you can see, these are townhomes. They're actually condo ownership. So you are going to be responsible for the interior of your home. The condo association will take care of like the roof, the siding. You are responsible for windows and doors, but they also maintain all the lawns. So it's a no exterior maintenance community. And you can see some of them have garages, some of them don't, and they just have assigned parking. But this is a neighborhood of 165 townhomes, all built between 1998 and 2004. So just like the last neighborhoods, some of the, homes that are, they're hitting that 20-year mark, they're ready for some updates. So I think that's pretty common in this neighborhood that, again, they're well maintained, but some of these homes are going to be ready for some new counters, some new flooring, things like that. A fresh coat of paint will go a long way in this community with a lot of these homes. But they're going to range from about 1,162 square feet to 1,969 square feet, and many of them have a first floor bedroom. In fact, almost all of them do. So the common layout in here is going to be a 2 or a 3 bed, and if it's a 2 bed, it's usually going to have the loft upstairs. So you might have a master bedroom on the first floor with a full bath, and then upstairs have another bedroom and a loft. So you're really going to have that opportunity to have the bedroom, living room, and kitchen all on the first floor. So if that's kind of where you are in life and you're looking to do mostly first floor living, then this could be a really good neighborhood for you, especially if you want to be in the Jamestown area. So one of the other things people really like is that most of them do have nice vaulted ceilings when you walk in. So it's got a big, spacious feel, even though some of these aren't particularly huge townhomes. But, for that $215 a month condo you do get some really nice amenities. There is a pool kind of at the back of the neighborhood that's very nice. Has a nice white fence around it. It's really well maintained. And then in the interior of the community that you can see right there, you're going to have a playground and tennis courts right there in the middle. So the amenities aren't all bunched together. They're actually spread out a little bit, but it's nice. It's got a good feel to it. Most of these homes and most of the community is really easy to get in and around. And then I think one other cool thing is that this neighborhood actually has a walking path all the way around it. You can see it from the front, and while I've never walked the whole path, I've been down at just 20 or 30 feet. It looks very well maintained. I don't know how much it gets used, but this is a really great space. If you want to get out, you want to be active, you want to be social. There are a lot of people in the neighborhood that are constantly out walking small dogs and participating in a lot of social activities here, and you're right by the high school. So if this is a good fit for you, you may want to look at the townhomes in Fairway Villas. And now we're going to the other end of the spectrum into Fieldcrest. So this is kind of behind Jamestown High on the other side of those trails. And as you can see right away, this is a home filled with much more, luxurious homes than some of the other neighborhoods that we've been in so far. And that's going to show in the price point and the size and everything like that. So Fieldcrest is about 80 homes, all built between 1986 and the year 2000. And, a small home in this neighborhood is going to be 2,000 square feet, but they're going to range up to about 4,500 square feet. So you really can get a big, beautiful, kind of all brick home here in Fieldcrest. And so, over half the homes in the community are 3,000 square feet or bigger. And most of them are going to be 4-bedroom or 5-bedroom homes with, 3 full baths, even 4 baths. So that's going to be pretty common in this neighborhood. Now, obviously with these being a lot bigger, they are going to be more expensive. Most of the last year, 3 homes have sold in this neighborhood, but they've been pretty big. They've been between 3,600 and 4,300 square feet, but they've sold between 655,000 and 760,000. So they are really right on that kind of border of what we would consider luxury pricing for our area. So of course you can go to Ford's Colony or Kingsmill, and you can spend over $1 million easily. So relatively speaking, these are affordable, but they are they're kind of borderline luxury. Most of these homes, especially the the newer ones have been extremely well maintained. The great thing about this neighborhood is most of the homeowners, when they've wanted to do an update, they do it. So you'll see that the homes that have been selling here the last couple of years, even though they are just like some of the other homes that we've looked at, even though they are 20, 25 years old, 30 years old now, they have been at a price point where the homeowners have been able to easily afford to make whatever updates they've really wanted to. So you're seeing some really beautiful homes sell recently. So great neighborhood, a little bit smaller. There is a homeowners association here. It's only $70 a month, and that does have a clubhouse and a pool and a playground. So that is all going to be right here within the neighborhood. And, you know, they're also well spaced apart, I think. You know, these are homes that are going to be on a minimum of about a third of an acre, and most are going to be in the half acre range, with some up to about 3/4 of an acre. So, you know, here, Fieldcrest, this is going to be kind of one of your higher echelon neighborhoods, really right around the Jamestown area. So if you are looking for something a little higher end, a little bit more space, a little bit higher price, then this could be a great fit for you. All right, well, I want you to see this whole community, so I am going to play some music as we continue to drive around so you can see the whole thing. And that's going to take us into our final neighborhood right across the street, and this is Berkeleys Green. So we're just driving straight into the main part of Berkeleys Green. And what's interesting about this neighborhood is it actually has 4 little kind of mini neighborhoods that shoot off of the main road here. And then each one of those is filled with a lot of cul-de-sacs. So I think this is a very popular neighborhood for that reason. But we're going to just drive straight ahead into the clubhouse area, because I just want to start this off by showing you the amenities, because of the neighborhoods here, I think these have by far and away the best. So you're going to pull into the clubhouse and you've got this beautiful gazebo and retention pond here, and then you get to this big, beautiful pool. It's so well maintained. It's fantastic and very popular. Great big playground. Look how big that playground is. It's great. And then this is the tennis court, and that's basically like a street hockey court. So that's cool. And then check out the basketball court. Like, this is amazing. There's no other community that has a basketball court like that. So I just wanted to start off by showing you those amenities, because it really is, you know, this community really does come together a lot and really take advantage of those. And the HOA fee here is only $52 a month. So It's really cool that you can be in a neighborhood that offers those kind of amenities for just $52 a month. So really neat. So let me tell you a little bit more about this community, Berkeleys Green. As I mentioned, it's 4 kind of smaller neighborhoods that form the larger community. And you're going to see that we're in kind of the front ones right now. And in the front 2 neighborhoods, you have some of like what I would consider to be the older homes. So this community was built between 1988 and 2000. And so your 80s and early 90s tend to be at the front, and then the newer construction is at the back. And it's kind of typical for most neighborhoods, the way they build them. So you will see a little bit of a difference as we get to in each one of the 4 kind of communities within Berkeleys Green. But overall, it's 275 homes, so this is a large neighborhood. It's our biggest of the day. It's even bigger than St. George's 100. And you're going to see a size range here of about 1,500 to 3,000 square feet. But if I had to tell you, pick like what's a typical size in this neighborhood, you might be thinking really in the 1,900 to 2,300 square feet would be very, very typical for this neighborhood. So you're going to see a lot of, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 4-bed, 2.5 bath homes. That's pretty typical right here in Berkeleys Green. And, for the most part, they're pretty affordable. In the past year, they've been selling for the high 3s to the mid 400s. So relative to our other neighborhoods, this is, has strong affordability, great location, and depending on what you're looking for, if you're looking for the big house, there are only a few that really push that kind of close to that 3,000 mark. So for the most part, you're really going to have to be comfortable in a more moderate size home in the 2,000 to 2,500 square foot sort of range. But what I like, and I mentioned this just a minute ago, is that this neighborhood is filled with just tons of cul-de-sacs. So I'm kind of like going through each neighborhood and driving down the main there's usually like a main strip in each neighborhood that has some houses on it. But then you look down and there's a cul-de-sac and it has, 7 or 8 houses on it. And then you kind of keep going and we're going to come to, another cul-de-sac that's going to have another 7 or 8 houses on it. So it kind of makes these little almost mini, it's nice that there are these little streets, especially if you have kids, that they can go outside and play in the cul-de-sac. I happen to live on a cul-de-sac with about 5 houses on it right now. And it's great because I know that there's very limited opportunity for a lot of cars to be driving by. So really great, a lot of cul-de-sacs. I like that about it. These homes are extremely well maintained. Again, age range, going to be ready for some updates. Homeowners in this price range are able to do updates, but usually they haven't done everything, so you're going to go in one of these homes, you're going to see, they put in some nice newer flooring, or they've updated the kitchen a bit with new counters and new appliances, but maybe it's still some old carpet, or maybe the bathrooms need to be updated. So there aren't too many in here that have hit the market recently that have been totally updated and really seen a ton, but they've been very well maintained, and these are really good homes in a great community where they're the size of the lot range. It really reminds me of St. George's 100 in that you get about 1/3 of an acre. That's pretty typical. So you're not in little tiny lots, but you're not going to get tons and tons and tons of space either here in Berkeleys Green. All right, and then this is just a nice neighborhood, but it is very big. So there's still a lot more driving to do to show you the whole thing. So we may trim it down a little bit, but I'm going to play some music. I'm going to let you really take in this entire community because it really does deserve for you to be able to see the entire thing so you can get a great feel for Berkeleys Green, especially as we get into a couple of these kind of back neighborhoods where they're a little bit newer and a little bit more spaced out, and you'll start to see kind of the construction difference as we drive through. All right, so I'm going to leave you, and then I will pick back up once we're done here. Okay, well, those are the 5 closest neighborhoods to Jamestown High School. In the description, I'll make sure to put links for each one of those neighborhoods so you can see what homes are currently for sale in each one. I'll be sure to include a couple other helpful informational links as well. Then when you're ready, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. My team and I are on standby waiting to help you with your next home purchase. In the meantime, don't forget to like this video, share it with anyone else you know who may be making a move to the Williamsburg area, leave us a comment if you have any questions, and then don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can see all our future videos. Again, my name is David Tortellini. Thanks so much for watching.